The galaxy was vast, filled with countless stars and worlds, some peaceful, some dangerous, but none were as feared as the humans. On a quiet space station near the edge of known space, a scientist named Laura worked late. She was a communications expert, listening for signals from distant worlds. Most of the time, she heard nothing but static. But tonight, something different came through. A signal, a distress call. At first she thought it was a mistake, but the message repeated, weak, but clear. A voice, speaking in broken words, pleading for help. Laura adjusted her equipment, boosting the signal. The voice became clearer. We are under attack. Our defenses have fallen. If anyone hears this, help us. Laura's hands trembled. This wasn't just a random transmission. This was real. A civilization was dying. She ran to the command center, where Captain Jack Dawson sat reviewing reports. He was a tall man, stern but fair, with years of experience in deep space missions. "Captain," Laura said, breathless, "we just picked up a distress signal. Someone out there is begging for help." Jack frowned. "Where's it coming from?" Laura checked her data. "A system beyond the Orion Belt. No known colonies there. The signal is strong enough it's a real threat." Jack rubbed his chin. Earth had a rule. No contact with unknown alien species. Too many risks. But this wasn't just contact. This was a cry for survival. He made his decision. "Prep the ship. We're going to check it out." The ship, named Starfire, was one of Earth's fastest. Its crew was small but skilled. Along with Laura and Jack, there was Ryan the pilot, a quiet man who could fly anything. Ismia, the weapons expert, sharp-eyed and fearless. And Daniel the medic, who had seen enough battles to know when things were about to get ugly. As the Starfire jumped into hyperspace, Laura studied the distress signal again. The language was strange, but the fear in the voice was universal. "Whoever they are, they're desperate," she said. Mia checked her rifle. "If they need help, they'll get it. But if this is a trap, they'll regret it." Jack nodded. "Stay sharp. We don't know what we're walking into." When the Starfire arrived, the scene was worse than they imagined. A planet once thriving, now burning. Cities in ruins. Just strange, foreign ships floating in pieces. And in the middle of it all, a massive vessel, dark and jagged, like a knife cutting through space. "That's not one of ours," Ryan muttered. "No," Jack said. "And it's not theirs either." A smaller ship, damaged and fleeing, suddenly appeared on their scanners. It was falling apart, engines sputtering. The distress signal was coming from it. Jack didn't hesitate. "Ryan, get us closer." "Laura, open a channel." Static filled the comms before a weak voice answered. "Please help us. They're killing everyone." Laura's heart pounded. "We're here to help. Who's attacking you?" The voice was weak, terrified. "The Devourers. They don't stop. They don't surrender." Before Laura could respond, an alert blared. The dark ship had detected them. Mia gripped her weapon. "We've got company." A swarm of smaller ships, sleek and deadly, detached from the massive vessel. They moved fast, too fast. Jack's voice was calm but firm. "Ryan, evasive maneuvers. Mia, power up the guns. We're not dying today." The Starfire banked hard as enemy fire streaked past. Ryan's hands flew over the controls, dodging with precision. Mia fired back, her shots hitting their marks. But there were too many. A blast rocked the ship. Alarms screamed. "We can't take them all," Ryan shouted. Jack clenched his fists. "Then we do what humans do best." Laura looked at him. "What's that?" Jack grinned. "We fight harder." The Starfire spun, weapons blazing. The enemy ships were fast, but humans? Humans were relentless, and the galaxy was about to remember. Why? The Starfire shook as another blast hit its shields. Red warning lights flashed across the cockpit. Ryan's hands moved fast over the controls, twisting the ship into a tight roll that made the enemy fire miss by inches. "We can't keep dodging forever," Mia yelled over the alarms. She fired another round from the ship's cannons, blowing one of the attacking ships into scrap metal. Jack gripped the back of Ryan's seat, his eyes locked on the dark mothership in the distance. "We need to take out the big one. That's where they're coming from." Laura scanned the enemy signals. Their ships are linked like a hive, If we hit the main ship, the others might shut down. Daniel, strapped into his seat in the medical bay, spoke through the comms. They might all come at us at once. Either way, we're dead if we don't try. Jack made the call. Ryan, get us close to that mothership. Mia, ready the heavy torpedoes. Ryan didn't argue. He slammed the throttle forward, and the Starfire shot toward the massive enemy vessel. The smaller ships swarmed after them, firing relentlessly. The shields flickered, dropping to 40%. Mia armed the torpedo launcher. One good hit should do it, but we'll only get one shot. The mothership loomed ahead, its surface covered in jagged spines and pulsing red lights. It looked alive like some kind of monstrous beast. Steady, Jack said. The Starfire weaved through enemy fire, closing the distance.
Almost there, Ryan shouted. Then bang!
A direct hit rocked the ship. The lights flickered and the engine sputtered. Shields down, Laura warned. Mia didn't hesitate. Firing now, she hit the trigger. 2 torpedoes streaked through space, slamming into the mothership's core. A massive explosion ripped through it, sending fiery debris flying in all directions. For a second, nothing happened. Then, one by one, the smaller ships powered down. Their lights went dark. They drifted, lifeless. Silence filled the Starfire. Did that work? Daniel asked. Laura checked the scanners. No movement. They're dead. Jack let out a slow breath. Good job, everyone. The damaged alien ship that had sent the distress signal was still floating nearby. Its engines were failing, and its hull was cracked. We should check for survivors, Laura said. Jack nodded. Ryan, dock us carefully. Mia, Daniel, you're with me? Laura, keep an eye on the scanners in case more show up. The team suited up and crossed over to the alien ship. The airlock hissed open, revealing a dim, smoke-filled corridor. The walls were strange, smooth, and organic like bone. Mia raised her rifle. I don't like this. Jack led the way, flashlight cutting through the gloom. They moved slowly, checking rooms. Most were empty. Then, in a small chamber near the back, they found them. 2 figures humanoid, but not human. One was a girl, small and pale, curled up in the corner. The other was a boy, taller, standing protectively in front of her. Both looked terrified. Jack held up a hand to stop Mia from raising her weapon. Easy, they're not attacking. The boy spoke in a shaky voice, his words translated by Laura's comm device. You killed them? Jack nodded. Yeah, they won't hurt you anymore. The girl started crying. The boy didn't move, still wary. Daniel stepped forward, medical kit in hand. Are you hurt? The boy hesitated, then nodded. He lifted his arm, revealing a deep cut. Daniel got to work, cleaning and sealing the wound. The girl watched with wide eyes. Laura's voice came through the comms. Jack, we've got a problem. More ships just appeared on the edge of the system. A lot more. Jack cursed under his breath. Time to go. He turned to the 2 survivors. Come with us if you want to live. The boy looked at the girl. She nodded. Together, they followed the humans back to the Starfire. Back on board, Ryan fired up the engines. We've got about 3 minutes before those new ships reach us. Jack strapped the 2 survivors into seats. Hold on, this might get rough. The Starfire blasted away from the wreckage, speeding toward open space. Behind them, dozens of new enemy ships appeared. Bigger, meaner. Mia checked the weapons. We're not winning against that many. Jack clenched his jaw. Then we run. Ryan, get us out of here. Ryan punched the hyperdrive. The stars stretched into streaks of light as the Starfire jumped to safety. For now. In the quiet of the ship, the 2 survivors sat silently. The girl was still shaking. The boy watched the humans with cautious eyes. Laura knelt in front of them. What's your name? The boy hesitated. Then, in broken but understandable words, he answered, Kalen. And this is Lyra. Jack crossed his arms. All right, Kalen, you better tell us what the hell is going on. Because one thing was clear, this wasn't over. The creatures moved fast, their long limbs twisted as they charged, claws glinting in the dim light. Mia didn't hesitate. She fired. The blast tore through the first creature, sending black liquid splattering across the floor. It screeched, collapsing. The others didn't stop. Jack shot twice, hitting another in the head. It dropped. "Aim for the center mass," he yelled. Daniel fired his pistol, hands shaking. "There's too many." Ryan, still at the ship's controls, shouted through the comms. "We've got more coming from the other side. You need to move." Laura grabbed the data crystal from the console. "Can't stay here. We need to go deeper, find their weakness." Jack nodded. "Mia, Daniel, cover us." "Laura, stay close." They ran, boots clanging against the strange metal floor. Creatures followed, hissing. The inside of the Devourer's ship was like nothing they'd ever seen. The walls pulsed as if alive. Veins of glowing blue light ran through them, like blood through flesh. Daniel gagged. "It smells like rotting meat." Mia kicked open a door. "Keep moving." The next chamber was larger. In the center stood a massive structure, a twisted spire of bone and metal. At its base, humanoid figures stood frozen, connected by thick cables to the spire. Laura's breath caught. "Are those ... people?" Jack stepped closer. The figures were human, nearly human. Their skin was pale, stretched too tight over their bones. Their eyes were closed, but their chests rose and fell slowly. Daniel checked his scanner. "They're alive, but barely." A voice echoed through the chamber. "You should not be here." They turned. A woman stood at the far end of the room, tall, with long dark hair and cold eyes. She wore a suit of black armor, sleek and deadly. Mia raised her gun. "Who the hell are you?" The woman smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. "I am Evelyn, and this is my kingdom." Jack kept his weapon steady. "You're human." Evelyn tilted her head. "Once, now I am more." She gestured to the sleeping figures. "They were like you, weak, afraid. I made them strong." Laura's stomach turned. "You turned them into those ... things." Evelyn's smile widened. "I saved them. The universe is cruel. Only the strong survive." Jack stepped forward. "You're killing innocent people." "Innocent," Evelyn laughed. "There is no innocence. Only food, and those who eat." A low hum filled the air, but the spire began to glow brighter. Evelyn spread her arms. "Join me. Become more than human." Mia fired. The shot hit Evelyn in the shoulder. She staggered back, then straightened. The wound closed before their eyes. "Foolish." The sleeping figures twitched. Their eyes snapped open, glowing red. Daniel backed up. "Oh no." Evelyn raised a hand. "Kill them." The figures ripped free of their cables and charged. Jack and Mia fired, but the creatures didn't stop. Bullets tore through them, but they kept coming, limbs flailing. Daniel grabbed Laura's arm. "Run." They sprinted for a side door, barely slipping through before the creatures reached them. Jack slammed the controls, sealing it shut. Heavy thuds shook the metal as the things threw themselves against it. Laura gasped for breath. She's turning people into monsters. Jack's face was hard. "We need to destroy that spire. It's the heart of this thing." Mia checked her ammo. "How there's an army between us and it." Daniel looked at his scanner. "Maybe not. There's a maintenance shaft here, leads straight down. You could get under it." Jack nodded. "Do it." They crawled into the tight tunnel, the sound of screeching creatures fading behind them. The shaft opened into a lower chamber. The bottom of the spire stretched down here, pulsing like a heartbeat. Okay. Laura examined it. "It's some kind of control node. If we overload it, ... But Daniel pulled a small charge from his pack. "Will this work?" Jack took it. Only one way to find out. He placed the charge at the base of the spire, setting the timer. 30 seconds. Move. They ran for the exit. Behind them, the charge beeped steadily. Then Evelyn's voice echoed through the ship. "You cannot win." The walls trembled. The spire's glow turned red. Laura's eyes widened. She knows. The explosion rocked the ship before they reached the door. The blast threw them forward, heat searing their backs. Alarms wailed. The spire cracked, blue liquid spraying like blood. Evelyn screamed a sound of pure rage. Jack pulled himself up. Back to the ship, now. They ran, the Devourer ship shaking apart around them. The Starfire was where they left it, engines already humming as Ryan prepped for escape. Go, 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 Mia yelled, leaping inside. The ship lifted just as the creatures burst into the chamber, claws scraping at the hull. Ryan punched the thrusters. The Starfire shot through the crumbling ship, dodging falling debris. Behind them, the Devourer mothership shuddered. Then it exploded. The blast wave hit the Starfire, spinning it wildly before Ryan regained control. Silence fell. Laura let out a shaky breath. Did we just ... win? Jack stared at the wreckage. No, we just made her mad. In the distance, more dark ships turned toward them. Mia reloaded her gun. Then let's give her a real fight. The Starfire shot toward home. The war wasn't over. It just begun. The creatures lunged. Mia fired. Her shots tore through the first three, but more kept coming. Jack and Daniel fought back to back, their weapons flashing in the dim light of the core chamber. The Queen watched, her black eyes unblinking. You cannot win, she said. Jack shot another creature. We don't know how to quit. Daniel checked the timer on the explosives. 3 minutes. The Queen's head snapped toward him. She raised a hand and the creatures froze. Silence. Then she moved. Faster than anything human. 1 second she stood across the room. The next, she was in front of Daniel, her clawed hand around his throat. You are the clever one, she whispered. Mia turned her gun but couldn't shoot without hitting Daniel. Jack didn't hesitate. He charged. The Queen backhanded him across the room. He hit the wall hard, his weapon skittering away. Daniel gasped, clawing at her grip. The Queen smiled. I remember being human, the fear, the weakness. She leaned closer. I do not miss it. Mia saw her chance. She fired not at the Queen, but at the ceiling above her. Metal groaned, then collapsed. The Queen looked up just as a heavy beam crashed down on her. She dropped Daniel, snarling as she shoved the wreckage aside. Daniel crawled away, coughing. 2 minutes. Jack got to his feet, blood on his face. Mia, I know. She grabbed his arm, dragging him toward Daniel. Da, run. The Queen's scream followed them as they fled the core chamber. The ship shook. Alarms wailed. Ryan's voice crackled in their earpieces. Whatever you did, it's working. The whole ship is coming apart, Laura added. The swarm is going crazy. They're trying to protect the core. Jack and the others ran through twisting corridors as the walls buckled around them. Behind them, the Queen's rage echoed through the halls. Shuttles just ahead. Out! Mia shouted. They rounded a corner and skidded to a stop. The path was blocked. A wall of creatures stood between them and escape. Out. Daniel checked the timer. 1 minute. Jack looked at Mia. She nodded. They raised their weapons. The creatures charged. Bullets flew. Mia fought like a demon, her shots precise. Jack fought beside her, his fists bloody. Daniel covered their backs with careful shots, but there were too many. A creature got through, slashing Mia's arm. She cried out but kept firing. Another knocked Daniel down. Jack barely saved him, putting a bullet through the creature's skull. The timer ticked down. 30 seconds. The Queen appeared at the end of the hall. She was hurt. Black liquid dripped from a wound on her head, but her eyes burned with hate. We'll die here, she promised. Jack smiled. Maybe, but you're coming with us. 20 seconds. The creatures hesitated, sensing their Queen's rage. Mia saw their chance. Now, they ran, shooting their way through the gap. The Queen screamed, leaping after them. 10 seconds. The shuttle was just ahead. The door was open. 5. They dove inside. Mia hit the controls as the Queen's claws scraped the closing door. 0. The explosion lit up space. The Starfire rocked as the shockwave hit. Laura and Ryan held on as the screen showed the mothership tearing itself apart. Did they make it? Laura whispered. Then a signal. The shuttle, damaged but alive, emerged from the wreckage. Ryan whooped. Yes. On the shuttle, Jack slumped in his seat, breathing hard. Daniel checked Mia's wound. You'll live, he said. She grinned. Told you we wouldn't die. Jack looked out at the dying mothership. She's gone. Daniel nodded. It's over. But as the shuttle docked with the Starfire, Laura's voice was grim. Guys, you need to see this. On the scanner, hundreds of signals. More motherships, more swarms. And they were all waking up. The screen showed hundreds of signals, each one a mothership. Each one carrying a swarm. Laura's hands shook. They're everywhere. Jack stared at the display. The scope was beyond anything they imagined. Not one enemy. Not 100. Thousands. Maybe more. Ryan turned from the controls. What do we do? Mia tightened the bandage on her arm. We fight. Daniel shook his head. Against that, we need help. Jack made the call. Laura, send everything we have to Earth. Every scan, every recording. They need to know what's coming. She'll work fast. Sent, but it'll take time for them to get ready. It's time they didn't have. The nearest signals were moving, heading toward inhabited worlds. Jack looked at his crew. We can't stop them all, but we can slow them down. Mia checked her weapon. How? Laura pointed to the scan. Here this cluster of ships is closest. If we hit them hard, we might buy some time. Ryan set the course. Hang on. The Starfire jumped to warp. The battle was short and brutal. It hit the first mothership by surprise, their weapons tearing into its weak points. It exploded in a ball of fire, taking dozens of swarm ships with it. The others reacted fast. Ships swarmed the Starfire. Alarms blared as hits rocked the hull. Shields failing, Laura shouted. Ryan fought the controls. We can't take much more. Jack made a decision. Ram the next mothership. Full speed. No one argued. The Starfire turned, engines screaming. The mothership grew larger in the view screen. Impact, metal tore, fire bloomed, then darkness. Jack woke to pain. The Starfire was broken. Smoke filled the air. Emergency lights flickered. He crawled free of his seat. Sound off, Mia groaned nearby. Here Daniel was already moving, checking Laura. She's alive. Ryan was slumped over the controls. Blood ran down his face. Daniel went to him. After a moment, he looked up. He's gone. Silence. Then a sound. A hissing, scraping sound. Outside the ship, Mia grabbed her gun. They're coming. Jack looked at what was left of his crew. Last stand. Laura stood, wincing. Last stand. They took positions by the broken hull, weapons ready. The creatures came. They fought well. Mia's shots never missed. Daniel patched wounds even as he fired. Used her tech skills to overload systems, creating explosions. Jack fought like a man with nothing left to lose, but there were too many. Just as it seemed hopeless, a new sound filled the air. Sound they knew. Human engines. Ships dropped out of warp. Dozens. Hundreds Earth's fleet. The creatures hesitated as the sky filled with human warships. A voice crackled over the cum. This is Admiral Carter of the Earth Defense Fleet. You picked a fight with the wrong species. Jack laughed. Took you long enough. The Admiral's voice was firm. All ships opened fire. Space lit up with human weapons. The battle raged for hours. When it ended, the swarm was gone. The remaining motherships fled. Earth had won. This time, on the broken Starfire, Laura checked the scans. I'll be back. Jack nodded. Then we'll be ready. Mia looked at Ryan's body. He deserved better. Daniel put a hand on her shoulder. They all do. That's why we fight. The Admiral's ship docked with theirs. He stepped aboard, looking at the damage. Hell of a fight, Captain. Jack met his eyes. Just the first. The Admiral nodded. Earth is mobilizing. Every ship, every soldier. We're taking this war to them. Jack looked at his crew, then at the stars. Humanity had answered the galaxy's cry for help. Now the galaxy would learn why that was a warning.